Boys, patch notes time. Okay, I didn't stream yesterday, so I know I'm like 2 days late on this because these patch notes came out after I streamed, I think, 2 days ago. Then yesterday I didn't stream, so now we're doing this. Anyway, welcome everyone. Balance update, May 19th, 2K20. Blizzard Entertainment 20 May 2K20. Just see if you didn't see the... Yeah. Oh wait, it was posted yesterday. Okay, there we go. Okay, anyway, weird. Greetings, StarCraft fans. Last month, we put together our thoughts on the current state of the game and proposed some changes we've been considering for the next balance patch. In addition, we tried something a little bit different and sponsored Wardy TV's Balance Mod Invitational to test the national feedback and observe the proposed changes in a professional setting. Today, we'd like to share which changes will make it to live in a future patch, which was based both on your feedback and what we saw from the BTM invitation. Wait, so these are confirmed going live. Specifically, we'll address the two major pieces of feedback we've received regarding the patch, which includes, for each individual Zerg change, how much ZVT would be impacted relative to the targeted matchup of ZVP. True. The usability and effectiveness of the new battery that's the QD overcharge, the Beast battery. Okay. The Beast overcharge ability. Let's go over a few key changes and whether we'll be keeping them or as is or making alterations. Come on, keep this. Queens. Previously proposed change. Anti-air weapon range decreased from 8 to 7. That's right. After watching tournament games, we don't have strong concerns surrounding this change, and we don't have strong reason to believe that it would drastically impact ZVT more than ZVP. Okay. Our initial concern surrounding the battlecruiser versus mech interaction was useless because battlecruisers have short range and Queen having one less range would mean shit. As well, there were very few battlecruiser openings from Terrans in the tournament. They were all defended about as soundly as before. In addition, we've received feedback that the Queen range change is more impactful versus Banshees and Liberator than versus battlecruisers. Yes. On the Protoss side, Oracles escape from Queens with 1 HP remaining on multiple occasions. Hell yeah, boy. Hell yeah. Creep Tumor. So this is going in, guys. This is big, okay? This is going in. Nice. Creep Tumors. Previously proposed changes. Armored attribute removed. Light attribute added. While we were initially skeptical of how this change would impact ZVT relative to ZVP, we feel comfortable going forward with this change after reviewing the tournament games. Very few additional creep tumors were killed by Hellions as a result of the change, which we believe is because Hellions fall off pretty quickly in a typical bio-based ZVT. And top-level Zerg players have gotten pretty good at protecting creep tumors in the early game. Meanwhile, we saw multiple instances of attempted tumor assassinations from Protoss players that wouldn't have occurred in the past. Okay, I'll be honest, I have not watched Wardy's map task tournament, so I can't really say much. But, I mean, again, I don't think this change is that big. Like, I don't think it's going to impact, you know, very many things. Yeah, sure, it will only make use for Hellions, I think, and that's pretty much it. I don't really see it doing anything else. Why is this light so bright? Baneling. I mean, this change is not very big. This is a big one, and I'm glad they went through with it because, again, it's not going to impact, I don't know what. It's mainly for Banshees, Oracles, and Liberators, and we can all agree that Banshees suck against Zerg. Okay, thank you. And also Liberators. Baneling. Previously proposed changes. Uh-oh. Yoink. We agree with the feedback that the previously proposed Baneling changes would impact ZVT greater than ZVP, and such, we won't be making forward with these changes. However, we still want to nerf those goddamn Banelings that dominate in every single matchup, including ZVP, and making Protosses miserable all around the world. When we asked for further feedback about the difficulty of late game PvZ, the responses generally did not involve specific unit interactions late game, apart from feedback versus abduct. Rather, many responses focused on the generally favorable position Zerg players could enter late game with. True. Notable examples included unfatter creep spread, high drone counts, and the ease of defending pushes. As Banelings are generally the core unit Zerg players use to defend pre-high Protoss timings, we believe targeting the combat effectiveness of Banelings would force the Zerg players to do less greedily. Okay, so what is the new change? Baneling weapon damage changed from 20 plus 15 versus light to 18 plus 17 versus light. This new change should impact PvZ more so than TvZ in a much greater proportion of the typical mid-game Protoss army is non-light, not true, compared to the typical mid-game Terran Bi army. After this change, smaller non-light units such as Marauders, Roaches, Stalkers, and Siege Titans will generally take one additional hit from Banelings, while beefier units such as Thor, Archons, and Immortals will generally take more. I mean, is this less of a nerf? Like, okay, to be honest, minus 5 health on a core unit that you can mass is a huge nerf. I mean, I've said this, the Queen one and this one were the biggest nerfs, right? I fully agree with that, I fully get that. But the question is, this one seems pretty big. 2 less damage per Baneling on armored units. So, Marauders, Roaches, Stalkers, Siege Things will take another hit. I mean, if you play Bio, you're gonna, like, Terrans are gonna start mixing in more Marauders in the army, and they're gonna be tankier. Now, the part that I don't like, and I don't see them mentioning this is a nerf to ZVZ, Ling Bane Muta, and it's a buff to Roaches, which I think is bad. Guys, I think it's bad. I don't want to see Roaches. Like, I'm tired of Roaches in ZVZ. Like, I want to see Ling Bane be more popular. And doing this change and Roaches having to take another hit from Banelings just makes it even less, you know, possible to go Ling Bane Muta. I don't like this change for that part. Stalkers taking one extra hit. I mean, yeah, you have some pushes with like Sentry Stalker, Archon Immortal with Blink, sure. But most of the pushes in ZVP do involve Archons Immortals mainly, and then you sprinkle around Zealots and Sentries. And Zealots will still take same damage, right? So, another thing to not forget is if you Storm and Banelings run through, they actually survive. So now we're going back to what it is now, is they will survive and they will not be killed off. I mean... So let's look at this. 18 from 20. So 10, 200. Let me just do something. 10, 200. So next patch, instead of having 10 Banelings, right, to kill something, you're going to need 11. Assuming that something has 200 health, right? Am I wrong on this? Doing math in stream is never a good idea. So... is that really big of a nerf? You know, like... I mean, like, guys, 12? How's it 12? Isn't it 10? Isn't it 10 to 11? But this is the question. Like, this is the question I have for you guys. Like, realistically, I mean, okay, this is a nerf. Don't get me wrong. It's a nerf, obviously. It's damage reduced. Oh, wait, it is? Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, so from 10 to 12. All right. 10 to 12, okay. But realistically, if you have a fight, if 10 Banelings hit your Stalkers, there's a very good chance there's going to be 15 Banelings as well. I don't think the main issue in PvZ was the damage, but how hard it is to stop the Baneling run-in. That's what I feel when I play Protoss. That's like my main thing that's difficult to handle. Not the actual, like, oh, this does too much damage. It's just, once they swarm in, if you're not prepared like that, you get overwhelmed, right? And even if you, let's say 11 Banelings hit, right? That's going to leave your unit at 198 health out of 200. A Link can just pop it straight away. So, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure how good this is going to be as a nerf. Again, it is a nerf, but how good will it be? And also, you're nerfing the Baneling against some units that Baneling shouldn't be nerfed, in my opinion. Like Immortals, like Siege Tanks, like Roaches, like Thors. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really sure how to feel about this. It kind of is weird, I think. I don't know. This is one of the changes that is so, like, because it's unit damage or unit health, whatever you want to look at it, whichever way, and interactions with mass units versus armored type units. This is something I'll have to see in game, but I feel it's not. I don't like it. This doesn't change anything, as in playstyle or how people approach it. This is a change that will basically be, in my opinion, either it will be a nerf and Protoss is slightly less strong, and that would be the perfect scenario for this kind of change, or it will be too big of a nerf and Zergs will stop going Banelings and instead of focus on something else, which, you know, we're doing a full circle to removing playstyles and stuff, but again, I don't want to judge it too harshly. I personally don't like these changes, but I mean, maybe it works out. I guess we'll see. I mean, it's a buff to mech, I guess. Even though nobody really uses Banelings against mech unless it's to kill Hellbats, but, you know. Oracles. Previously proposed changes. Revelation cost, energy decrease from 50 to 25, cooldown, yada yada. We know all these. Out of all the proposed changes, we were most pleasantly surprised by how much this was utilized, with almost every Protoss player employing it to some degree of effectiveness in PvZ. We were also surprised by the uptick in mid-game usage simply to check up on opponents' armies, and excited to see how future Oracle usage will evolve. Now, again, I talked about this before, so I'm not going to go too in depth. This has his you know, positives and negatives. You know, the positives is the Protoss, maybe if you miss a tag, now you basically have another tag. You have two tags instead of one. Obviously, they last the same amount if you combine them. But if you maybe miss a tag on Terran army or Zerg army, you can kind of re-tag 15 seconds later. It becomes less of an all-in move to tag something, whether it's a unit or a cloaked unit or whatever, because it's only 25. So for those reasons, I like it. But this is something we'll have to see. I don't think this personally will have any issues or imbalance issues. But I also don't think it will do what Blizzard wanted it to do, which is like to clear creep tumors or something. Like it's not gonna happen. Unless you have like 5 oracles or something, which no one makes it a pro level. Cutie Patootie Overcharge. Okay. So they removed Battery Overcharge and they put in the new ability Battery Overcharge. Okay. So they removed the old one completely. So what does the new one do? Effect. Overcharges a target shield battery near a Nexus. Okay, so it has to be near a Nexus. Increasing its shield restoration rate by 100%. Okay. Shield restoration rate. So it heals twice as fast, and allowing it to restore shields without consuming energy for 14 seconds? Wait, does this mean... Wait, wait a minute. Let me... Hold on. Take a moment. Does this mean you overcharge a battery with 0 energy, it will heal for 14 seconds twice as fast, while slowly regenning ticks of energy, because this doesn't consume any energy? Is that what I'm reading? Energy 50, cooldown 60 seconds, shared by all Nexuses. Was it a Nexi? What happened to Nexi? Range unlimited. The target shield battery must be within range 8 of any friendly Nexus. I mean, this is really good. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like this. I'm just gonna say it straight away. I don't like this. And I'm gonna tell you why I don't like this. I'm gonna read their explanation, which is quite long, but this is why I don't like this. Protoss already has recall. Recall, as we know, is incredibly powerful, specifically in PvT, right? Incredibly powerful. It has some use in PvZ and PvP, but in PvT, you guys know, if you do a drop or you get dropped, if you're Protoss, you can recall your army and basically deny that drop completely. And it's like an extra life button, basically. So this makes it so not only you have recall, but now you have this shield battery. If you have one shield battery per Nexus, that you can overcharge, you're gonna heal for 14 seconds and basically make a unit like immune to damage. I mean, we saw the healing. I don't really need to test this because the healing is twice as much, which is from the current shield battery normal healing, which is what it was before. And you guys remember, it healed a lot. Like, it healed a lot. It sustained a lot of beating. So you're basically going to drop whatever. Let's say one medevac drop, right? Or you do a run by with Zerglings. And you don't even need to like save energy. You just pop the cooldown. It's 1 minute, which at a pro level is not a lot of time. Like, you're not going to be able to get in someone's base, force the recall, then get out, then get back in, force the overcharge, and then get out and get back in within a span of a minute. That's not going to happen. So Protoss will always have a recall or cutie patootie overcharge, and that's what I don't like. That's what I personally don't like. I like also global abilities. I mean, guys, this is the first ability that has global reach, right? That you use on something. And don't tell me scan, okay? Don't be... Okay. I mean... Well, recall, yeah, as well. Okay, yeah, recall, right. Alright, let's read the reasoning. Our initial iteration of cutie patootie overcharge has some usability concerns stemming from the fact that Nexus can only overcharge batteries adjusted themselves. Honestly, I also agree that that was stupid. I also didn't like that because sometimes you would chrono boost and it would use chrono boost on the Nexus you didn't want to, and then you couldn't overcharge. So I also agree that that was not perfect. I just want to get that out there. So it doesn't seem like I love the previous one, but I don't like this one. The initial restriction was put in place due to a concern of ability being too powerful in late game when all your Nexus could be used to overcharge a single large cluster of batteries. Oh, the initial restriction. Okay. However, we realized the awkwardness of this implementation ideally would not want to drastically alter how players utilize Chrono Boost. Therefore, we'll be removing this restriction, instead addressing our concerns by placing a global cooldown on the ability a la Strategic Recall. What? A la Strategic Recall? Does he mean battery overcharge? Or are they memeing and calling it a la Strategic Recall? I'm confused. Am I dumb? Similar to Recall? That's what this means? Alright. Like, as in, Like AKA. Alright. I'm a boomer, I'm sorry. Next, while we receive feedback that the ability is effective in encouraging macro play past 3 bases, as evidenced by the large number of 4+ base PvPs in the BTM tournament, we believe it's not effective enough at defending proxy mortal builds for 2 reasons. Well, this doesn't make any sense. This is now contradicting what they're saying. So, okay, this doesn't make sense. So initially, for those who don't know, this ability was put in to prevent proxy immortal pushes, right? That's what this ability was supposed to do. And now they're saying they evidenced a large number of 4+ base PvPs in the BTM tournament. So does that mean that the ability worked? Because they saw a lot of 4+ base PvPs in the tournament. But then it's saying, we believe it's not effective enough at defending against proxy mortal builds for 2 reasons. First, the ability would not be ready for the initial standard 4 Stalker 1 Immortal poke at typical timing. Additionally, we believe that there's a bit too much energy tension on your 2 initial Nexuses, as we expect both Chrono Boost and Battery Overcharge usage to be key in defending Proxy Robotics builds. But at the same time, doesn't it separate the good players from the bad players? Like making sure your energy is in the right spot. I know it was annoying. Like, isn't Allah French? So why the fuck is it using it in an official patch notes thing, okay? Why don't they use Serbian? Jesus Christ. Spanish? No, it's French. Isn't it French? That's not Spanish, dude. Get out of here. Okay, anyways. This town hall guy is pissing me off, dude. While the changes described in the last paragraph particularly elevate our concerns, we'd like to go even further by reducing the energy cost of the ability, which we feel comfortable with due to the ability's newly introduced global cooldown. Well, I don't know, like, I feel like these changes are sometimes made by different people. Like they say, okay, Potato, you fix PvP, Never Die from Nukes, you fix TVZ, Joe, you fix PvZ, and I feel like they all bring their own things and then they just put it in. The reason why I say this is because they literally talked about Banelings and how it affected ZVT more than ZVP, and that's why they're going back on the change of the Baneling. But then they're introducing a global cooldown shield battery overcharge. How is exactly that not going to affect PvZ and PvT if the sole purpose of this is to fix PvP? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Do they think it's not an issue? Like, it's not going to bring concerns? Like, you know what I mean? Like, the reasonings to me don't make sense. Because you're clearly putting an ability that will affect all 3 matchups very evenly. And you're trying to fix proxy immortal builds. I mean, look, here you go. I'll fix proxy immortal builds. Are you guys ready? Is everyone ready? Require that in order to build a robotics facility, you need to have a gateway close by. There you go. It's fixed. It affects PvP. It doesn't affect other matchups. And that's it. Like, I don't know, dude. No, it's not just gateway into proxy. If you think just... okay, dude. That's a dumb solution. Okay, let me explain it to you since I'm assuming you're gold or maybe silver. If you go for proxy robo, you need to open 2 gateways in your main base. By needing to put a 3rd gate will mean that you either open 1 gate at home and 1 gate proxy, or you open 3 gates. If you open 3 gates, you will not be able to produce 2 stalkers and your proxy will die, okay? If you produce 1 gateway at home and 1 gateway proxy, your gateway that's proxy is gonna get shit on by the 2 stalkers. So, you don't shit about the game, just use your brain before you talk, dude. Like, what do you mean it's not gonna fix anything? It would literally fix this problem completely. by needing the gateway, because you won't have enough minerals to support all of that. Plus, you would need the gateway to finish and then start a robo. Or not necessarily finish, even start. That's an extra 150 minerals. Also, give him a timeout for 5 days. Thank you. Okay, give him a day. A day is enough. I'm also Master 3, which means I'm almost Silver. Yeah. Okay, don't give him anything. He's funny at least. Master 3. Come on, damn. Like, how can... Whatever. Anyway, let's keep going. We'd like to address another oddity with the ability. In the previous iteration, players were encouraged to overcharge batteries with near full energy to receive the greatest benefits. We felt this could induce decision paralysis on the part of the player and promote somewhat undesirable behavior, such as turning batteries on and off autocast. In order to address this, we've redesigned the ability to be agnostic of the current energy of the targeted battery and reduces duration to meh. Conclusion. By the time this blog goes up, this change will be updated on the balance test model to parents on bearing blah 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 blah. I don't like this. I'm sorry, but I don't like this. And listen, I'm saying this as someone who plays a lot of Protoss these days. Like, I maybe play more Protoss than Terran these days, unless I do a Terran series. I love playing Protoss, but giving Protoss another global ability, to me, is a big yikes. Like, guys, think about this. This is not one attack where you pop one battery. Every minute, you will have this super battery that will make your unit unkillable. And even if that unit gets killed, it will just start making the other unit unkillable for like 14 seconds, which, by the way, in an engagement is a shit ton of time. Like, 14 seconds is not like a, oh, I'll just wait it out. 14 seconds is enough for Protoss to warp in another round of units. I don't know. Like, I feel like now we're straying away from the initial idea, and it's like, you know, like, you might as well scrap this and then add another ability that fucking can be cast from pylons and spawns Colossus on top of it and gives, you know, your units flying. Like, is it 14 plus 60 second cooldown? I mean, I'm assuming the cooldown starts the moment you use it. It's too good. Well, it's not about being... I don't know if it's too good, okay? I haven't played the game, so I'm not going to say it's broken or it's not broken. I don't like the change. The change is a change. Every minute you will have this ability. Like, and it's global. Like, this is not one of those... You remember back in the day when you have Mothership and it overcharged the Nexus? Well, when it overcharges the Nexus, you can go to another base. For this, you attack a base, it overcharges a shield battery, gets the army in position, warps another round, you go somewhere else. By the time you get somewhere else, you drop, there's the overcharge again. That's my issue. It's not about you making a decision, it's now whenever you drop, attack, harass, Protoss, they will have, you should always include that they will have this ability, right? Assuming you're attacking every minute. 60 seconds is very short. Like, but I do agree at the same time, if you put it like 2 minutes, that's too long. If their whole point of this is to prevent Force Stalker Immortal push. I don't like this change. That's what it comes down to. I'm not gonna like, there's not much else to say. I don't think this, I don't like the change. Adding global cooldown abilities, I think is just, I don't like it. So again, the changes, well, we can check them all at the bottom. Drilling Claws is going in with, once you build an armory, it makes the Widow Mines invisible. Even after they shoot, they will remain invisible. The Zerg Queen range gets nerfed by 1. The Baneling damage gets changed by -2 to, you know, versus everything, and then +2 versus light. So it's like a nerf damage versus armored units. Infestor Microbial Shot no longer requires an upgrade. Nobody cares about that. Creep Tumor, Armored, and Light Swamp. Nobody cares about that. Nexus, don't like it. Oracle, sure. And then feedback, I completely even forgot about this. Range increased by 1. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong, but this is one of those abilities that seems like, oh, cool, it's a shield battery every 60 seconds. And I hope it doesn't turn into, oh, when you actually attack a Protoss now, you either have to kill them or you don't bother attacking again in a minute because of this. Obviously, if you're fighting a maxed out army, this will not do anything. But I'm more worried about early game harassment. I'm more worried about, you know, like for example, early game pokes, like a Cyclone poke. If this shit pops, like 3 Cyclones aren't going to be able to kill a Stalker because of this, right? So if that's the case, why would Terran go for those kinds of openers in the first place? If you can't harass, if you can't kill. Second, it gives any kind of aggressive attacking in PvP, people will just be like, no, like what's the point, right? Because again, this is not sucking up the energy from a shield battery. It's not using energy. Like if this was a little bit different, like let's say it was a minute cooldown, it does this, but it sucks up all the shield that shield battery has and then heals for 14 seconds, okay. That's a downside, right? There's no downside to this because once the 14 seconds pass, that shield battery is still going to have 100 energy to heal, right? Or full energy to heal. So there's just no downside. That's why I don't like it. Whenever you're in trouble, just pop it. And I don't like the fact that they said that they said in their explanation that they didn't like when players would stack up shield batteries or nexuses with full energy. Players were encouraged to overcharge batteries with near full energy. This could induce decision paralysis on the part of the player and promote some undesirable behaviors. But you're also promoting undesirable behaviors because you're stopping a lot of the harassment that's happening because of this. You're forcing undesirable behaviors from the opponents. Like if you're playing PvT, why would you ever do a 6 Marine drop? What are you or a 6 Marine 1 Widowmine drop? Like what are you gonna accomplish with it? If there's a shield battery, it will literally, the Protoss will not micro. They're just gonna aim move the Stalkers into your medevac, and that's it. Now, with all that being said, Protoss has been struggling recently at the top level of play, and I do agree Protoss needs some kind of help, and I think this is coming from PvZ, and that's getting, you know, buffed in the Protoss favor. And I do agree that maybe adding some kind of fix to prevent immortal Stalker rushes in PvP should be added, but I think this is wrong. I think this is going to promote campier PvP where players just are gonna camp more, and technically that will do what they intended it to do, aka go more in 2, 3, 4 bases, but not for the right reasons. Not for the reasons of, oh, both players are really good, they're defending back and forth. It's just like, well, if I'm doing an 8-gate Charged Immortal Archon push and you're doing the same thing and you're expanding, why would I push into a shield battery that's on steroids? It doesn't make any sense. And that right there is stopping the options or whatever they called it, in my opinion. Again, I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope this does not prevent Terrans from dropping, does not prevent Zergs from actually doing run-bys and being discouraged to do run-bys because there's a fucking super shield battery all the time that doesn't require energy, by the way. And I hope it doesn't promote camping in PvP. I do agree PvP sometimes 2-1 base focused, but I don't want it to be Resident Sleeper. Oh, here we go. PvP 3 Nexus. No one's doing anything. No one's attacking. No one's harassing. They're just maxing out armies. I don't think we want that either. So, yeah. That's my opinion. Again, I hope I'm wrong. I hope this turns out to be a great ability with lots of potential uses and also some kind of downside, although I currently don't see it because this is just a straight up, we added another ability, right? Again, no downsides whatsoever. If they made it so that it drains the energy of the shield battery, that's a downside. This has no downsides. It's just a straight up, we added another ability to the Nexus, and it has a global cooldown, or global reach. To me, that's a little bit too much. But, alright, I guess we'll see how it plays out. Zerg is getting nerfed. All these changes, even the drilling claws will potentially open up some builds in TVZ, sorry, not potentially, for sure. Will open some builds in TVZ where you do medevac for Widow Mines drop against Zerg with Armory. It will also open up a lot of drops versus Protoss again. And we'll see how the shield battery goes. Overall, I mean, these are all the changes that are going through. And I would say the most interesting one, for me personally, fun-wise, not balance-wise. I think balance-wise, this is the biggest one. Fun-wise, this is the most intricate one. But not much has changed. Again, this is something that I was talking about earlier. This is also pretty big, but it's more balanced, I feel like, as well. This is something I've talked about earlier. I personally want to see more design changes, not +2 damage, -1 damage kind of thing. But it is what it is. I would love to know your guys' opinion on Twitch chat. We'll discuss it now for a little bit, so I don't keep people on YouTube just waiting. If you guys are watching YouTube, let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. Cutie a la patootie. He's signing off for you guys on Twitch. Let's keep going.